So for encoding staff credentials, if you're on the home screen of community software and you select your icon for creating staff and vendor keys, what you should see, depending on the exact setup of your software, is you will have options for staff and emergency credentials that are both available with either toggle or standard non-toggle. What a toggle credential does for you is at the actual lock, when you present your credential, it will leave the door in an unlocked condition until the lock is either relocked from the inside with a thumb turn, or if the same toggle credential is presented on the outside of the door, it will relock or resecure the door. You also have to kind of cross-reference this with the actual door locks to see how they were set up in the database, and if they were set up to be toggle enabled as well. Now, that being said, if you're not sure if that was done, or if you suspect somebody may have made a credential in error for toggle mode when you didn't intend it, or the other way around, the other thing you can do is in the main screen of the software, if you go in the report menu, where you can generate various reports from the software, if you scroll down, there's a system activity report. So this is basically recording what someone is doing or a user is doing within the software. If you select system activity report, you can see here there's different types of key types or credential types you can search. So if we simply want to look for any staff credentials that were made, we select staff/vendor. You click on next to what type of credential, and I'm just going to leave them all checked because this will be vendor keys, limited use keys, staff keys, both toggle and non-toggle. Next to operators, what this will do for you is you can sort a report based on who logged on to the software. So again, I'm going to click on the box to select all. So basically, regardless of who logged onto the software, this report will give me that data for everyone. And then the last thing is date range. So you can select a report range of how far back you want to go to pull this information simply by editing the start and end date. So I probably went back a little too far, so it's going to take a few seconds to generate the report. And then once the report populates, you also have the option to print it or save it. But if we scroll down here, so for example, the last handful of credentials I made were all the emergency toggle. You can see on the screen here, it says emergency access toggle. It tells you when the credential was encoded. It also tells you who encoded the credential. That's the operator menu right there. And if we scroll a little further down, so for example, this credential encoded back on September 1st was an emergency credential, but it was not toggle, as opposed to the one right above it does say toggle. So that's another way you can check to see if that was done.